I went down town 2 days ago to the arts festival. I took the train downtown, the rail system, and hadn't really taken it downtown before. I mean, I hadn't taken it in such a long or for such a long ride before. It was quite an interesting experience for me. Just the people that I met on the train. Weird, weirdos. You'd think they were weirdos. They looked weird. Tattoos and earrings and mohawk hairdos and all kinds of stuff. But I took my 3D cameras down and I was going to do some 3D photography on some of the artists downtown. And so I sat there before the train came, and with my two cameras I had attached to this bar, and there was a couple that was sitting next to me that looked weird as hell. I mean, the guy looked really rough with earrings, and the woman he was with had she was really heavy. She had pierced ears and I think nose rings, and she had a tattoo of someone's name that went across her back on her, on her skin, on her neck, or on her back area. And but he looked at my cameras and he says, "That's bad. Oh, that's really bad." And of course I knew what he meant, and because after all, I am a hip guy. I know all the lingo. I know all the lingo out there, boys and girls. You know. So I said, yeah, it's pretty neat thing. It's 3D, and I was talking to him about the 3D. And he was very nice. He said, "That's really neat. I'd love to know how to do that. That's really cool. That's really bad." And his girlfriend that he was with, I guess it was his girlfriend, it might have been his wife, she was very nice too. But to pick him out of a crowd, and just kind of look at him, and they would, you would know more think that they would be nice or sociable, then, then, I don't know how to explain it. Just looking at people, you can't always tell what their true character is. I mean, you can look at me and you know what my true character is. It's you know, Mr. Humble and Mr. Sincere, the guy that knows everything, that type of a thing. That pretty much wraps it up for me when you see me. But anyway, so I got on the train, and more weirdos on the train, you know, and they all wanted to talk about why I had two cameras, and of course I told them, in case I make a mistake with one, I can, capture it with the other camera. And then I told them about the 3D, but they were all very nice to me. And I met, guys that looked like they're part of gangs. They had weird hair and earrings and all, just weird clothes you know, people that you'd never want to associate with. And they were pretty nice, decent people. When I came back on the train, I sat next to a guy. He was across the aisle from me. That looked rough again, and he had a tattoo on his arm, and he had the word Victoria on it. And I looked at it. It was very nicely done. The lettering on the tattoo is very nicely done. And so I asked him, I said, "Now, is Victoria, is that a woman or is that a place?" And he told me that it was his mother's name, and that he's also going to have some angels underneath it, but he could only have so much of the tattoo done at one time. And I asked him, I said, "Well, do you ever feel that someday, maybe in the future, you might wish you'd never had the tattoo?" No, it's nice to him. I wasn't trying to be a smartass. And he says, I don't really worry about it. He says it's just something I want to do now, and he says it's I'm sure there's a lot worse things I could do. I said, that's true. But he was a very nice guy. I told him that I'd lived several years in a place called Victoria, Australia. That was the name of the state. Melbourne was the name of the city, but I just told him that's the reason I was wondering if it was a person or a place, like Victoria, Canada, for instance. But he was very nice, even though he looked rough along the edges. He was a very down-to-earth, nice, decent guy. And then there's a lady that sat across from me that looked completely normal, and she talked to me after I talked to the guy. She was saying, I don't understand people that get tattoos. I think they're stupid. They've got rocks in their head, that type thing. And I thought to myself, I don't want to talk to her. And I thought to myself, lady, just shut up. I just had a nice conversation with this guy, and he's a decent guy, and you're acting like a bitch, You're putting the guy down. The guy didn't say anything, but he had to have heard it. But I could not believe that this normal-looking woman was talking like that, and I thought, shut up. But it just goes to show me that if you're nice to people, that generally they're nice back to you. I absolutely had no problems with them. I didn't have you know, any fears about them or any worries about me talking to them or how they'd, talk to me back. We got along like we're buddies. It really taught me not to judge people as far as their appearances, because I think down deep that a lot of people they're just nice people. Doesn't matter if they have tattoos or they dress weird or or they drink or they, smoke dope or whatever. Down deep, there's usually a good person if you take the time to just be nice to them, and talk to them. Treat them like a human being and like a brother or like a sister. But anyway, that was my observation for the day. And, I hope that you people out there be nice to the other people. They need to acceptance. They need to they're just a lot of them are just people trying to get along in this world. And if they have different ideas about life or do different things that you wouldn't do, then just accept them anyway. You don't all have to be morons. Anyway, but that's my lesson from me to you, the underdog. Huh? I'm not underdog. You are underdog. Go look in the mirror. There's nothing wrong with being an underdog. That's what you are.